Hi, I'm Laura with Life's Too Short Fitness. Today, I'll be talking about the gear that you need to get started with trail running. The internet will tell you that there are endless amounts of gear that you need to get started, but really, what's most important is having something solid on your feet. The biggest difference that you'll notice with trail running shoes is the amount of traction that they have on the bottom. They have deeper multi-directional lugs, which are these pieces that stick out from the sole. The Lugs will be multi-directional, so they'll help you brake going downhill and keep grip going uphill. In general, the shoe will be a bit stiffer than a road shoe and have a little bit more protection on the top. Anything like these overlays to keep you from hitting your toe, to just give this shoe some overall stability. They're usually also better at water drainage than a road running shoe. This particular shoe, the Brooks Cascadia, also has a rock plate inside the midsole foam. So you can't see it with the naked eye, but there's an extra layer of firm foam or even plastic in models of shoes that have a rock plate, which will give you extra protection from any sort of roots or rocks or other sharp or uneven surfaces that you run into on the trail. You'll notice on a road shoe versus the trail shoe how different the traction is, and that's really what'll help keep you stable and on your feet during the course. We've had ladies that have done the course in road shoes, but if it's possible to swing another pair, or if you're really excited about getting into trail running long term, a good pair of trail shoes will go a really long way. There are a couple different brands out there, and everybody on the internet has their really strong opinions on them. But similar to road running, you want to go somewhere that you can try on a couple pairs in person. Ideally, you'd be able to run around the store or on the treadmill to get a feel for how the shoes fit on your feet when you're running. You want to make sure that they feel good, that there's no hot spots or anything like that. Like I said, you might notice they feel a bit stiffer than a road shoe does and maybe not quite as plush as some of the road models. But all of that is to help keep you protected and stable while you're running on uneven surfaces like trails. For any of you who've been told that you overpronate or need any sort of stability technology in your road running shoes, that technology isn't really in trail running shoes because you don't want to have your movement restricted too much when you're running on uneven surfaces. You should be able to find a pair that's supportive enough on their own to take care of your stability needs. And if not, you can always pair it with an insole like something from Superfeet or Curex that can help give you a bit more stability in the shoe and give you the support that you do need. The next most important thing is to find a way to carry your water, also your cell phone and keys, any other safety equipment that can be helpful. But if you're going to be out, particularly in the summertime for an extended period of time, no matter how many miles you're covering, you're going to need a way to carry some water. So the smallest and most affordable option is a handheld. So it has a small pouch on it that zippers shut to keep your phone and a couple other items stored in there. It then has a strap for your hand to slip into, and then will stay secure on your hand while you're running. Um, the next step up from that is any sort of waist pack or fanny pack that can carry multiple bottles in it. And the biggest investment would be a hydration vest. So, running backpacks are going to be a lot snugger to your body than a hiking backpack. They're not going to bounce around, and they're made of really breathable mesh on the inside. Most are designed to either stick bottles up front here and here, or to put a reservoir in this pouch in the back. If you don't know already, a reservoir looks like this. It's basically a big bag to put your water in. You can get an insulated one like this that keeps it cold in the summertime, which is kind of a nice bonus. And then the hose kind of threads through the backpack straps, and then you can suck on it while you run. People have a lot of strong opinions about this too. Some people don't like having the reservoir on their back. It feels too hot, or some people feel like it sloshes around too much. People with breasts really sometimes don't like the bottles up front. It feels like too much in their face. So again, just go to REI or Runner's Roost or any other local running store to try on a lot of options and see not only what feels the best from water storage, but also what makes sense for you. You know, if you want a phone pouch up front, and that you can adjust to fit you. So a lot of models will have something along your rib cage as well as adjustable front straps. So make sure to play around with that in the store. Make sure the straps feel easy to buckle, and really play around with it in the store to find the one that's the best fit for you. Handhelds will be your least expensive option at around $40, and hydration vests can go up to close to 200. So there's something kind of everywhere in between, and just do your best to find something that fits your needs. On that topic, a lot of running gear is really expensive, and I totally understand that. If you invest the time into finding a pair of shoes that you like and that work well for you, you may have to shell out full price the first time, but then you can always keep an eye out for sales. Most companies update the shoes at least every 2 years, sometimes every single year, to have some cool new marketing thing that they can talk about. But that means typically that the previous year's version, which may be working great for you anyways, will be on sale. I've gotten shoes anywhere from 20 to 40% off just because they're the out of date version and not quite as new, even though they're might work great for me. With any of these things, it's also important to shop somewhere that has a good return policy. REI is well known for its incredibly generous return policy of a year. Um, but many running stores, online and otherwise, and in person, will have at least a 2 week to 30-day return policy where you can try out the shoes and make sure they're working for you. REI and Runner's Roost, those policies apply to gear too. So if you try out a vest that you like or you think you like in the store and then you end up not liking it once you're home, you can always exchange it for something else that's going to work for you as you kind of figure out what you like and what you don't like. The last essential to getting started is one that you may already be familiar with from road running, but it's getting socks that are not 100% cotton. Socks that are 100% cotton can't wick moisture effectively enough to keep your feet from getting too wet and sweaty, which is what ultimately leads to blisters. So you want to get something that is some sort of non-cotton blend. Another important material that you can look for is merino wool. And I know everybody thinks of wool and thinks that it's very itchy, but merino blend socks have wool that's nice and soft, blended in with all the nice stretchy sock materials that we're familiar with. And merino wool is important because it retains its heat or warming properties even when it's wet. So, especially in the wintertime, if you're running through any snow or other inclement weather, even if it's just built up snow from a previous storm, your feet can get really, really wet. But if you're wearing something with merino wool in it, then your feet will stay warm. And similarly, if you are running in the summertime and know you're going through a lot of creek crossings, you'll be able to wick moisture effectively enough to keep you from getting blisters or any sort of real issues with wet feet. The other nice thing about merino wool is that it can help with odor. Nobody's running socks smell good, but if that's something that's important to you to try to control, it can be a nice bonus. Running socks can be yet another thing that are expensive about running. The trade-off that you're making is that they're going to last forever. Darn Tough has a lifetime guarantee on their socks, as well as features Belega and a lot of other popular sock brands. So if you're able to kind of stockpile them over time to be able to build up a collection of running socks, they're going to last you for years and years to come. I have definitely been there that I have just bought the multi-pack of Target athletic socks and they do work fine. They just break down much faster. So you end up buying socks every 6 months, every year, and eventually it's going to even out to be the same or more expensive than if you had just bought a couple pairs of high quality socks over the years. A good pair of shoes, high quality socks, and a way to carry your water is really all you need to get started with trail running. I'm always open to talk more about shoes and nerd out about gear. We'll also be sending a PDF along with the video to kind of recap what we talked about, go into a little bit more detail on some of the technical side of shoes, and also give you some resources of where to find things like reviews and sales and other tips like that. If you have any questions, like I said, I'm happy to always talk gear with you, so don't hesitate to reach out on Slack.